welcome to the first group episode of the Cultured Savage podcast. So we're totally going off the cuff here, off my phone, kind of very relaxed format. This is Azima, my fiance, also known as the Muscle Cat, and Bam, Devon Morris.
Word.
Yep. He's one of the fighters with me at Phuket Top Team. I'm the head coach at Phuket Top Team. Azima is a trainer there. She teaches mobility. And Bam is a fighter there.
And he's the best coach on the planet.
I'm alright. So, to give you guys a little bit of a rundown, Azima and I are in an interfaith open relationship. So,
yeah. It's strange.
We have a strange dynamic in our relationship, and Bam is one of our adopted children.
Yeah.
More or less.
I do feel like your child, though.
We just fed him today.
Yeah, we just gave him some chicken tacos.
They keep me groomed.
Some cage-free, veg-fed chicken.
Roam chicken.
Yeah.
That's what they call it.
Yeah.
Chicken that roams.
That roams.
You gotta catch that shit.
So yeah, we want to kind of talk about
What are we talking about?
a little bit about our relationship, how it works, and we just sort of have Bam here for his brilliant commentary, as you guys will hopefully get to know Bam over the coming weeks and see his genius in action.
You guys are cool.
Yeah. So yeah, as I said, Azima and I, we are in an interfaith, meaning Azima is raised Muslim. I was not raised Muslim, obviously. I was raised Catholic. I no longer have anything to do with the Catholic Church at all, and haven't for a very, very long time. So we're in an interfaith relationship, which is often looked down upon when the man is not Muslim, right? A Muslim man can wed a non-Muslim woman, I believe, as long as she's Christian or Jewish, right?
That's illegal or something? Like,
It's okay. That's
People of the book.
people of the Abrahamic religions. So it is somewhat frowned
That's a
upon.
general rule.
Yeah.
I guess
It's pretty much a rule.
Yeah. Rule. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rule.
So we've had some interesting things to overcome together, and we're also in an open relationship, which might even be the more fascinating of the two. Meaning that we, we're engaged. We plan to get married in the next year and a half, and but we also see other people, and sort of at our own discretion, really. Right, and it's been a work. It's been a work in progress. It's something not it's probably definitely not for everybody, but it's definitely for us. I think we're both people that like to explore. We're both people that really enjoy freedom and trying new things, and I think it's made our relationship better.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah.
like in your interfaith relationship, how does that work? That doesn't cause like any struggles, right?
Not between us.
Not between you guys, but maybe between like family or something.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, we haven't really I think because I've been away from them as well, and we're not in Singapore where most of my family is at. We haven't really, had to deal with a lot of that. But at the end of the day, what I struggled with a lot last year was, trying to differentiate myself with, what I want and what my family wants. Because, a lot of things that come into what your family wants is skewed through societal, cultural stuff too, and then beliefs everyone kind of thinks the same collectively, and a lot of pain or fear kind of is around the community. It just people just have the tendency to think a certain way about a certain thing.
not because they think it, but sort of because it was told to them and that's the way to think.
Mm.
Right? I mean, everybody's conditioned to a certain degree right?
Yeah.
The culture that you come from is conditioning. That's what kind of culture really is, conditioning when you get down to it, right? That's why there's like Black American culture, and like if you meet a black guy from Africa, it's completely different.
Yeah.
Right? Y'all don't act the same.
Not at all.
But so yeah, what is that? It's cultural conditioning. What's normal to you, right? It's really what becomes normal to us.
And you guys make your own culture now.
Yeah,
The
I mean,
savage culture.
We just kind of, well, I mean, ultimately we like to explore things, and I think one of the ideas that her and I work with is, there's a lot of cultural shame in all cultures, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of shame about sex, whether you're a religious person or not. There's a lot of weird ideas about, what if my girlfriend goes on a date with another guy?
And he
right?
smashes her.
Right? Yeah. Well, yeah. Right. What does that? Am I less of a man if I allow that to happen? Or what if she likes this guy better? Right? And like, then am I gonna be ashamed that I'm less of a man? So there's a lot of like weird conditioned ideas to work through with all of the things that we do. But I think that's what we're really interested in. We're interested in like diving into that stuff. Like, why do these things scare me? Why do I think like this? Right? So I always ask those questions to myself. Like, everything I believe, I like to come to that belief because I really believe that. Throughout my life, I've believed a lot of things that I believed because I was told to believe that. And when I was really young, I started questioning those things early, and I just continued to question them through my life. And so that's kind of how we work our relationship. She's probably somewhat of the black sheep of the family, and I've always just been on my own kick.
You've been blacked out for a while.
Yeah. So yeah, it works. It works for us. Yeah. I'm definitely black in a lot of ways.
This man's got swag.
Yeah, well, no, it's just black culture was a big part of my upbringing, and hip hop and black and Puerto Rican people in New York.
You're blacker than I am.
And culturally, maybe.
Yeah.
Culturally, maybe. People think
Which
that's
is
a weird
interesting
thing to
about
say.
culture.
Yeah, but it's a cultural thing, right? It's black culture, white culture. You can act black or act white. You know what I mean? It's the culture. It doesn't mean you're not black, right?
Yeah.
I'm not black, right? But I was influenced to a large degree by a lot of black culture. A lot of my friends growing up were black and Puerto Rican, and that
It's
culture.
like more like joining a tribe than really.
Yeah, definitely. And even a lot of that stuff that I hold, close to me, I have to question from time to time. You know what I mean? I try to question every idea. If somebody disrespects me, do I have to slap them? Right? But do I really, right? So that's my first instinct, right? If I'm to get in a verbal altercation with a man, especially if it's in public, right? My first instinct is I gotta slap this fool, at minimum, right? At minimum.
Everybody's gotta know, yo.
Yeah. But like, where does that come from, right? And so a lot of that stuff, a lot of that street shit is just fear, right? It's fear of, I'm gonna look bad, I'm gonna look like a punk. I know I'm not a punk, So now I'd rather not slap somebody, if I gotta protect myself, it's a different story, So yeah, man, constantly questioning beliefs that I've picked up over the years, and why do I believe this? Is this it? Then and maybe I do. Maybe it's a good belief. Maybe it works for me. But the real question is, do these beliefs work for me? Right? Do they work for me? Are they serving me? Are they bringing me a better life? If they're not, then it's time to take a look. Right? It's time to kind of dive in a little bit and see what's what.
Rearrange some things around.
Yeah. And you can't just like snap your finger and like not believe something or pick up a new belief. It takes work.
Yeah.
Especially
if it's like around something that you're afraid of.
Yeah.
Right. You start seeing it like keep coming up, and it's such a struggle because, well, it's your fears.
Right.
But the more you run away from it, the more it fucking grows. Right. So it's about like sitting with like these fears, about breaking down certain beliefs or challenging certain beliefs that will make you grow, as opposed to running away from it.
Running
'cause
away
then
from it.
it will catch up.
Running away from things, and I'm like, I don't want my mom to see this shit on Instagram.
No, it's not even like that. It could be so many things, man. Like, I've been talking about this a lot recently, but one of the biggest reasons people get anxiety is because they know that they're not facing or doing things that they need to get done. You know what I mean? And so when you know like something needs to be done, or you have something like something's hanging over your head like that, you're gonna be anxious about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you know you're fucking up, like missing practices and stuff like that, and then like I'm calling you, like you're gonna get anxious, right? Yeah. Okay.
You'll be like, well, you have called me sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, I don't want to answer that.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
I gotta answer it though, because you can't let it go by.
So we just take that on a deeper level with everything. Yeah. Go ahead. You can start. It's okay. It's a live podcast. God bless you. Whoa. Okay.
Ellie sneezes in threes.
Yeah, she sneezes in
Threes.
Like
And
excessive.
fives.
I sneeze in twos. I do.
And couples.
Yeah, so like Zima was talking about, like, so if I go out, you know, on a date or go hang out with a chick, right, she's forced to confront, like, oh, what if he likes her better, what if he leaves me, you know what I mean, like,
Yeah, mostly my insecurities come up, right, and that's also like based on like some trauma that I've experienced in my growing up, you know, but yeah, because like you spend so much of your life up till like this point afraid and, you know, making some decisions based on those fears because of your beliefs growing up, that, you know, you kind of saw repeatedly all the time and acted out repeatedly the same thing. It's repetitions of the same. What I was doing was like self-damaging behavior, and that usually is the case, right? Anyway, yeah, when you keep repeating that, it kind of becomes natural for you, or like reactive.
Yeah,
right?
Reactive.
Yeah.
Good word.
So that's why it's really important to really sit with it and kind of like what I've been doing, or like trying to do lately, is just try to see the truth in everything. What is actually true in the present moment, you know? What is actually true in the present moment when...
Because we believe a lot of bullshit. Like, true, like in our heads, we buy... Well, we all do. Everybody believes a good amount of bullshit that's not true, right? So, like, most of the stuff we're worried about is not an imminent threat, right? Most of my stresses are not imminent threats. So then they're not real, right? They could be, but anything could be at any time.
They don't
right?
exist.
Yeah, they don't exist, right? So it's bullshit. It's what's the bottom line is, like, if I'm, you know, if she's out, you know, or talking to a guy or whatever, and I'm like, you know, I start comparing myself, you know, am I, you know, is he better looking than me? Does he got this? Does he got that?
But it's true,
right? And it's like, what's true or what's not true? Well, that's whether he's better looking than you or not is subject to opinion. Right? Yeah. There's no facts, right? That someone's better looking. Anybody can see that different.
Yeah, but like knowing that, you know, know that we're not gonna fuck each other over, like intentionally hurt each other.
That's the first thing I gotta remember.
You know,
right? And
that we love each other.
Yeah.
Just because he's out with another person doesn't mean that, you know, he loves me any less.
Yeah, not at all.
So when it cracks down, it's like, yo, she's down to ride, I'm down to ride.
Yeah,
you can't crack this shit.
In the simplest terms, yeah, and it's just and ironically, what happens like after, either one of us is with somebody else, like either romantically or just like whatever, just go and hang out with somebody, we generally end up getting closer after the fact. Like, it generally brings a closeness after, because it's like a reaffirmation, like, oh yeah, like she's still here. She didn't go nowhere, or he didn't go nowhere, you know. And then it's like, and then we discuss it. We like tell each other everything about it, like what happened, how was it, you know what I mean, and like talk about details of the encounter or the ongoing dialogue and stuff like that. Yeah, all that stuff, man. All that stuff. We talk about it, and because some people in open relationship, like, they have like a don't ask, don't tell policy. that would never work for us.
No,
It just leaves
no.
too much to guess.
Imagination gets wild. And you're
Yeah,
like,
dude, fuck that. That sounds like torture to me. You
what's
know what I mean?
happening?
But I know it does work for people. Some people, they're rooted in that truth that I know who they're coming home to, and that's fine. Whatever they do, you know, with that free time, like they'll have a rough idea, you know what I mean, but not really asking for details and stuff like that. I don't think that would work for us.
No.
And for me personally, I think it's more effective as a growth tool if I do know the details.
Yeah.
If I can ask the question.
Mhm.
So if I'm feeling insecure, I'll literally tell her like I feel insecure.
Yeah.
Like and I'm just letting you know.
That's
and it's not like attacking. It's not like you're making me feel insecure.
Yeah.
Like it's never ever like that because that doesn't work.
It's everything on the board, pretty much.
Always
Laid
keep things
out.
on the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we've also had like periods of time where like I was scared to tell her like about talking to other girls or whatever, and I start to kind of like feel like I'm hiding,
And I pick up on that.
and she knows, and then I start to kind of withdraw because I know I'm hiding something, even though like it's part of our agreement. I don't have to hide anything, but I'm worried about her reaction. So that actually, the hiding actually causes way more problems than it would when we just put everything on Front Street and kind of handle it. It doesn't mean that there's some uncomfortable moments. I might tell her something and she might need to go be by herself to process it, and then like I'm sitting there like thinking I gotta fix it. You know what I mean? But that's not the case. Like it's not mine to fix.
Yeah, because you gotta remember that you are responsible for your own happiness and filling your own like cup of loving yourself first, right? And that's the most important thing, and that isn't trying to find someone out of spite to like go fuck their brains out and then be like I feel like no, because that's just self-damaging behavior.
Yeah.
Right? It's more
That
of
makes
like
you a bad
if you don't want to
person.
be alone.
I just couldn't be alone with myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's all that means. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever. Sometimes, whatever. Like you got to do what you got to do, I guess, to get through a situation. But to really grow through a situation, sometimes, like, okay, like if I know she's gonna be, whatever, doing something, like, it's more productive if I can sit with it.
We all
Go-
need to adopt these
Go
laws.
get yourself a nice cup of coffee. Go to a nice cafe.
Yeah.
Have something nice to eat.
Mhm.
Just take care of yourself. Chill, and then the day will be over before you know it. He comes home, tells me about it, and then everything's okay.
And then you're like, I miss you, baby.
Yeah.
And you embrace and you're like, you know what? I love the way you smash. Because that person knows everything about you, so.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
And then when you have a new encounter, then that person has no idea how to play this piano, and they're just like, twinkle, twinkle, little star. But when you're out there just beating, rapping that shit up.
Like motherfucking Beethoven.
Yeah. I'm painting all over this bitch.
Beethoven.
Welcome
Pianist.
home. Yeah.
Not an artist. But I see your power. Yeah.
Just drop one inside the can and just. That's
Yeah.
art.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely true. But and a lot of this stuff is there's a lot of science behind some of this stuff.
Mhm.
A lot of people that take this on as I think Aubrey Marcus's podcast has been a big influence to a lot of people. It's kind of really helped us out too, in sort of navigating some of this stuff. But there's a book called Sex at Dawn that talks about human sexuality and how monogamy is very not likely our natural course of action. It's a pretty in-depth book. It's a dense read for sure.
It's really interesting.
But it's really interesting.
So cool. I want to talk about penises.
Yeah. Just it puts aside a lot of the guilt and shame that I think a lot of people might have, that oh man, I love my significant other, but I still want to fuck other women.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't even have to necessarily be about fucking other women, although that's usually the end goal. But it's like just getting those fresh encounters, like.
I said too hard.
Yeah. but the more I research the topic about relationships and stuff like that, because I'm fascinated about how people go about relationships. I'm fascinated at like there's couples that have to ask their significant other for permission to like go training. Like I had a guy come in the other day, and a really nice guy, and so I'm like, oh, where you been, man? I haven't seen you. He's like, oh, my wife was here, and she begged me not to go train while she was here.
What?
And I thought that was
Selfish?
well, yeah, but I was more, obviously it's selfish, but I was amazed. I'm like, that's interesting that a significant other would want the other to not do the thing that they probably enjoy doing most in life, right? Mm-hmm. So training is the thing that a lot of us that train hardcore, right? It's kind of I hate that word, sorry. A lot of us that train quite a bit, it's our lifestyle. It's usually our favorite thing to do, right? And this guy I would probably classify as one of those guys. He's not like a professional, but he's a hobbyist and loves it. And so his wife or girlfriend wants him to not do that because she wants all of his time. I'm like, man, that must be a weird dynamic to be told what you can and can't do. I've never even fathomed that. I'll let her know what I'm going to do, right? And we'll talk about things. But like, fortunately, she trains, so it's like never an issue. Like when we go on vacation, we plan it around training.
For you, it's like that's like awkward behavior. It's like I can't understand.
I can't fathom it. I can't fathom being, and then as a man and not just as a man, but even as a woman, like letting somebody else tell you what you can and can't do.
No, I've had like ex-boyfriends who kind of like, why are you going to the gym so much?
Yeah.
What?
Imagine on vacation, like, oh, you're gonna go work out. What about me? What about you? Go do something. Don't you got hobbies, bitch? Yeah. Go do something. Go to the beach.
But that's not really what this book is about.
No.
But this book has actually really helped me understand a lot of my parents' relationships, my parents' relationship as well, and my past relationships and why maybe shit didn't work because it's not very suited for me.
Yeah, we should all read Sex at Dawn and learn something.
Look, I've had a lot of partners, right? As far as like relationships are concerned, I've never been faithful to a single woman, right? Yeah, ever.
Now you know.
other than her, right? Other than her. And so even before we decided to be open, we didn't cheat on each other.
No.
But we just both decided, we're like, we both still like that excitement, There's something that people call in the relationship expert field, they call it new relationship energy, right? And so when you're new and everything's fresh and that person's perfect still. Yeah, it's like you want to do everything with that person. That's not sustainable for longer than a year, really.
No.
And usually not even that sustainable. I mean, we spent so much time together. It's like, how long can you keep that up? You know what I mean? You just can't, and no one does. And so bringing in new partners, actually, not only do you get that energy from them, but it also somewhat creates that energy when you come back to home base. There's sort of a fresh kind of feeling when you come back to home base, and it keeps things exciting.
And you know what I realized as well, since we explored this open relationship and been so honest with each other and everything, it allowed me to be more comfortable around other people or around other.
Yeah, you were saying that the other day.
You don't feel like you're doing something wrong by talking to the opposite sex, or even engaging with people that you have.
Well, she goes and hangs out with my friends more than I do. She was at the beach yesterday with all you guys. Well, you weren't there. You were sleeping off a hangover. But with all the guys, and I'm cool with my girl going and hanging out with my friends. How many dudes can say they'll let their chick go hang out with their friends without them, and their friends actually want to hang out with their chick?
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody wants a chick that can hang.
Yeah, she hangs more than I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just be playing Angry Birds.
Nah.
On your iPad.
We played rugby.
Yeah.
We did.
But that's cool. You know what I'm saying? It's cool that can happen. But I think so losing the shame about men, or whatever probably just helped you open up a little bit.
Yeah, and I grew up with my brothers too, right? So I'm used to playing with guys, but somehow playing with boys, right? but like somehow along the way, like through like relationship after relationship, there was almost like this like shame around being around other guys. And because I'm a trainer and I'm in a male dominated industry, obviously, and also in a fight gym, working in a fight gym, which is mostly guys.
Yeah.
So that really helped me kind of break down like I shouldn't be talking to this guy unless I'm trying to, whatever. But yeah.
I can't help it. I just like to talk to everybody.
Yeah. I know, we know.
And I grew up with all sisters and my mom, and then they just had girlfriends too. So I was bedazzling and shit. My mom was like, I grew up and I was like, you thought I was gonna be gay, huh? And she was like, yeah. And then, but anyway, I like not just like the attention of females or something like that. I actually like conversating with them and hanging out and getting to know everyone and just being really cool. But then,
at a certain point in time, she gotta close the deal. There's always that end goal for the most part, right? And I think if you lie to yourself and say that like that's not even a thought in your head, if you see an attractive woman and you start talking to her, whether it's the conversation strays from innocent or not,
it's about to rain.
There's that thought's gonna be in your head. I don't, at least in my experience, and I think that's I can broadly say that as well.
Yeah, for every dude.
Yeah.
Every ladies too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing that reading Sex at Dawn was really helpful. Is like, women are just as sexual as men.
Nasty.
We're just but they have culturally just shamed from operating that way.
No, I shouldn't act like that.
Yeah, I shouldn't act like that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And a lot of that stuff is nonsense.
I just came over here to watch Netflix.
Yeah. It's But no, I think being able to own that is probably pretty freeing. I would imagine.
Yeah, like being able to just be a wild woman.
Yeah.
In nature.
I grow my chest hair and I spread my.
That's not what I mean.
And I spread cheeks. On the daily, I spread them. I do lat abductors because I just spread cheeks.
The day we start doing chest hair, we're gonna have to rediscuss this. So I'll go back to just being monogamous.
I can't even grow chest hair.
Yeah, no, I know.
What? I don't really grow chest hair either though. But then I started shaving it.
Do you want your girl to grow chest hair?
No, like little string. Like we just licking some nipples, and what you're doing is you're actually flossing. She's got hair on them.
Oh my god.
They're like stray. That's how you gotta nip those and pluck them out.
Yeah.
I got
Hope
you.
she don't notice.
Yeah.
Don't even bring it up. Make it awkward.
Oh my god.
I've gotta harvest these.
So you've wanted to bring this topic up.
Yeah.
Before.
Yeah. Well, of course, I think every guy would love to bring this topic up.
Why? Do you want it to go both ways?
See, now that for me may be an issue, but this is the thing. It's not like I feel that. Well, not most times, but there are some women out there that are just they only want one dude and couldn't see themselves with another guy. But the thing is, I also believe that they're attracted to other males and they're just not saying that shit because they feel like
that. I think we're conditioned to believe that that women only want one guy, and I think they're conditioned to feel that that's the appropriate way to feel. The science would say different. So the research shows that women will get bored of their partner faster than men. So that's kind of interesting. Sexually, you know what I mean? Because men, and I think it's because men lose the excitement first, and so women. I feel like women want to be desired.
For
you
sure.
know what I mean?
And
And they know when a man's not looking at them like a fucking steak anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they want that. They want that still. They want to be looked at like oh, I'm about to carve you up, bitch. You know what I mean? Like they want that, and it's. You can't sustain that forever. Do you look at your wife like that anymore?
Not all the time. No.
No.
When we have breaks.
Yeah, when you have breaks.
And then we reignite. I'm like, man, fucking, I miss you so much. But then after a while, those conversations stop. You're chilling, and it's like, how about you don't have to do much. Just roll over. I'll do it myself.
Yeah, it gets routine. Yeah, it gets routine, and then the sex gets routine, and then the passion leaves, and so. So imagine, like, you start bringing new partners, and then there's like that glimmer comes back over, you know, your number one, and it keeps things open. But you'd have to be open to her catching that same stuff.
So she would have to know how special I am.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. But you know, it's like having that trust that this isn't to replace me. Like, I also have to be humble enough to realize I can't. She's a broad and diverse person, right? So like, I'm not gonna be able to meet all her desires. Maybe she likes tall guys. I'm not tall. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she likes certain things that I'm not. You know what I mean? And maybe I like certain things that she's not. Right? She's my partner because she checks more boxes than anybody. You know, like I just, you know, like she checks more boxes than anyone I can imagine anybody filling in one person. Right? Just novelty's always fun though. You know what I mean? And trying new things is always fun, and so and novelty's fun for me. Novelty's fun for her. Like I gotta know that like she's with me, you know. And so I trust my relationship enough that that gets me through it. You know, like she was about to go on a date and kind of canceled recently, and I was pretty like kind of like giving her advice and shit.
Was he just like not into you? Yeah, you're like, yo,
No,
so what did you do wrong?
She decided it just wasn't what she wanted to do.
Yeah. I don't know.
Wasn't digging the vibe.
No, it was like, it kind of felt a little like rushed. Like I was trying to prove a point, you know. But I didn't I had to sit with it for a while actually, like before I even left. I got ready and everything, you know, and then
Shave.
but before I left, I was like, yeah, I'm ready.
Aerodynamic.
Right before I left, I just like thought, okay, he suggested it too. When's the last time you meditated? I'm like, oh, you're right. So that means I haven't took like 10 minutes to myself to just
actually
be with
think
myself.
about
Still.
To just be with myself in the present
What's
moment. I haven't
going on?
done that in like an entire week. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll just take 10 minutes. I'm like, give it 10 minutes. And then after that, I realized I didn't want to do it because I think I craved connection because, I mean, Eric was going through some shit, but, you know, I also know that I can't change like, I can't control how he feels, so he was a little bit distant, and I just wanted connection, you know, from someone, from anyone, from this guy who's been like giving me some attention, but I didn't necessarily like
really want that.
Dig him. I don't really dig him. Like I don't know him enough even. You know, it was kind of like one of those, you know, slide in DMs kind of thing. But yeah, and I used to like jump at opportunities like that, you know, like in the past.
I'm going in.
yeah.
Strap up.
You're charged.
yeah. I like take a cab and like go down like when I was, you know, back in the day. Actually, not even that long ago, a couple years ago.
Yeah, you're 24.
I was bad like that too. Well, there was this chick and she broke my heart. Like I don't know, we were like in the 7th grade or 5th grade, and I was like, I'm gonna marry this girl. I'm gonna get a little white little fence and shit. And I was like, then she came back pregnant, and I was like, yo, what happened to us? I was just like fucking around, I guess. Oh yeah, evidently. But anyway, so then after that, I was like, you know, now I gotta smash all these chicks, but they've gotta have boyfriends. And all these girls would be like, hey, are you, you know, after a while just hanging out, and then I get into the place, and I think this was a problem I had. Maybe some internal shit was going on. I don't think it was just because she broke up with me, but then I would just be like, you know, if you got a boyfriend, I'll hang out with the girls, and then next thing you know, they would just be like, so, are you effeminate? I'm like, no, not at all. Not that we're alone here with you. You know, no, I'm not gay, so what do you want to do? And then, so usually we just got together, and we...
So you played gay and then like snuck in their pants.
Yeah, pretty much.
Snuck in them drawers.
Yeah.
Damn, dog.
I don't think I play it too much. I think like it's just like I'm just relaxed. I'm cool.
Just relaxed.
But it came off that way, I guess, because I like things that are soft.
I had a period of time where I only
So
liked to
big.
bang married women.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I'm gonna make you break that vow.
No, I think it was just because
First of all-
I think it was
first of
because
all-
it was like no expectations. Like
Mm.
no, they just want to use you for like your penis. And that's
Yeah.
it. And
They don't want to keep you.
There's not gonna be no clinging.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was my thing. I went for a period like that where like that was really attractive to me.
When I got
I was
married,
not very healthy at that time. I should note, but yeah. So
chicks would be like, "You're married?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm married," and then they're just like, "So?"
yeah.
I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is magic."
Actually, it's a weird. I get mixed. A lot of chicks want a boyfriend, so the second they find out you're in a relationship,
Yeah.
or they don't believe that you're in an open relationship, they think it's like a line.
Hmm.
They're like, yeah, right. You know what I mean? Guys don't give a fuck if your relationship is open, closed,
Yeah.
fucking semi, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
These are nasty.
No, dudes don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Guys do not give a fuck. If
You're a lesbian?
no,
Oh, shit.
dudes would not care at all. If they thought they had a shot, they'll slide in a girl. You know, they will slide up on a girl's DMs, like no shame whatsoever. You know, not yeah. Guys don't care. Oh, you're in a relationship. You're in an open relationship. I don't care either way, really.
Mhm.
I'm just glad that you're available.
That's good to know.
They'll
Yeah.
be like,
Yeah.
they'll be like 40-something-year-old dads, like, with like their kids on Instagram, like, hey, gorgeous.
Yeah.
You look good today.
Yeah.
Just wanted to send you a lovely message.
Yeah, dudes are fucking
Keep doing
ruthless,
a
right?
good job.
Women actually
Working
mostly
with
care.
Um,
You know, they mostly care. Some of them don't. Some of them just down for the scandal. You know,
and then you find like dudes are just savages, and you get
dudes
into
are
that
just
world.
fucking. It's what we esteem ourselves on, right? We esteem ourselves in our culture, right? Like the life that we live, like violence, fighting, and fucking, right? If you can do those two things well, you're held up, right?
I feel
by
like
your boys.
like women like are more subtle in their approach, but they're still
There's
like
still some
that to some-
savagery
like,
amongst
yeah.
women. There's still some savagery amongst women, especially if they're honest with themselves. You know, if they're honest with themselves and they're not so inhibited, there's definitely some savagery among women. But I think, like, yeah, there's a lot of cultural ideas about how women are supposed to operate
Yeah.
inside relationships and inside sex,
a
and
lot
a
of
lot of them are bullshit. They're not true.
Mhm.
You know, it's not what women really want.
No.
Yeah. It's really not. So, all right, yeah, we're gonna close there. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is kind of like we're just winging it. The production and the sound will get better as we go along, but we just want to kind of introduce the podcast
Yeah.
with some interesting topics, and you'll hear more from all of us about what we got going on and as we keep
Other
working
stuff.
through this thing and
This
other
was
stuff.
awesome,
And
by the way.
yeah, it's fun, and I think it'll be helpful to some people, and I just think it's an interesting.
It's been
sort of,
helpful to me right now.
Yeah.
I'm like over here like, okay,
Yeah,
you gotta
so,
remember that.
We hope you guys enjoyed, and tune back in next week for episode 2.
Next week.
How do you stay? No.